afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Average Dave's Movie and TV Talk. I'm Dave. This is the other Dave. When he wants to talk, or sometimes he's kind of. This is actually not. This we're usually here on Thursday, but we're doing it Wednesday this week. So this is you're tired.
I'm tired.
Yeah,
I'm tired.
Yeah, and you'll see that throughout the show. He won't listen. He'll fall asleep. All that good stuff.
I'm going to be very, very combative. Your list has got me pissed off.
This is episode 13, and just a fair warning about our movie TV talk channel. We talk spoilers. We talk about politically sensitive issues in the entertainment industry, and we speak our mind about the entertainment industry. And every so often, some bad words might come out.
Well, we have to speak our mind on the entertainment industry.
This is our opinion, nobody else's, and we love to hear everybody else's opinion. So
we have to speak our mind on the entertainment industry because it's gone woke, or at least for a while. It might be correcting itself. Who knows? There's actually some movies coming out that look interesting. Yeah.
So if you have any comments or anything, let us know via the email, YouTube, or let the gods here at Okemo Valley TV know. So we just got a couple quick intro subjects to talk about. The first one is Glenn Powell is going to be starred in the remake of The Running Man.
I don't know why that's even getting a remake. It wasn't that great of a movie.
See, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an enjoyable movie, but it's not like it's like
I can see a good remake,
that
though.
it needed a remake.
But if everybody remembers, that's going to start filming in November, and the first Running Man came out in 1987 with the Arnie.
Arnold Braunschweiger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I liked that movie. I thought it was fun.
It was okay. That's like, he's like in like the yellow suit.
Yeah.
He's, in some games where they got to like survive, right?
Yeah. Well, no, they run down. They have all these different like hunters after them. Yeah. So I can see a good remake being done. I think it'd be interesting.
I mean, it was an interesting movie. It wasn't.
The book is even better.
It wasn't an over-the-top crazy action movie like I was kind of expecting. Yeah. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in it, I remember kind of being a bit of a pansy.
Yeah. But he took care of business and had to.
Yeah.
So I just found that interesting because Glenn Powell is one of those rising stars. I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Sure. I
mean, he is rumors to be maybe Batman.
I couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
Really?
Yeah. I don't really know who he is.
Yeah, well, jeez.
I'm sure if I saw a picture of him, I'd be like, oh, okay,
it was what's his name in the new Maverick, Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, yeah.
He was the version of like Iceman.
Yeah.
The wise-ass, cocky guy.
I forget his name, but
I mean, he's definitely.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine.
He's definitely built to be a Batman.
With him.
He's. I would like.
I enjoyed him in that.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I don't really know him too much.
And he's in the new Twisters. He was in Hitman on Netflix, which if you haven't seen that, watch that movie. It is really good. He is funny.
Netflix made a hit. Oh, okay. It's not a Hitman movie.
No, it's his name is the Hitman because he disguises himself and he works for somebody that tries to get people that are hiring Hitman in trouble.
Speaking of Hitman on Netflix, that movie that they did, I Killer, I think it was called.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I think it was called I Killer.
Yeah,
it's the one with Michael Fassbender.
Yep.
Pretty damn good.
I haven't seen it. Pretty good. Seen it. Being advertised, but I haven't watched it.
It wasn't groundbreaking or oh my god, I can't wait to watch it again. But it was a solid movie, and for Netflix to put out something solid, I will take it.
The one quick note, I still find it very interesting
that the Rings of Power season 2 is out.
Yeah, we're both going to have to watch it because we're going to have to critique it on here.
Yeah. Well,
I couldn't even make it through 3 episodes of season 1, so.
I couldn't make it through 2. I got almost through 2. It was so much worse than what the people that I watch on YouTube and such said it would be. Yeah, it was so much worse.
I couldn't get through it. So I don't know if I can get
through it. Galadriel?
That means we're going to have to watch season 1 and season 2.
Who do you think was going to be worse? Like, we haven't watched all of it, but Galadriel or Ocean May? Like, who's going to be worse? Like, who was the worst actress?
We'd have to watch.
You got those two, plus you got whoever played Reva. Oh. Like, that's almost like the holy trinity of horrible actresses.
Yeah. Just a real quick note that I find still pretty interesting is that the box office is still down almost 26% since COVID. They're trying to come up with all these excuses, but you know what it really is? It's just a lack of good movies.
Marvel Phase 3's done.
Yeah, it's a lack of good movies.
I mean, if you think about it, there is that, but I think those numbers were kind of inflated a bit from Marvel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Marvel
because Marvel was $1 billion movie after $1 billion movie. It was like You had like a bad movie for them was only made like 700 million.
Because what is it now? Since COVID, there's only been what, like 8 movies that have made $1 billion. So it's a really low
I can
number.
only think of like, did the Avatar make $1 billion?
Who?
Avatar: Way of the Water.
Yep, he did.
So you got that, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Deadpool.
Deadpool.
What else?
They named them off the other day, but there's more than those 4. So, but that's not very many, because $1 billion in this day and age really isn't. I mean, it's a lot of money for us, but in the movie industry, $1 billion is a benchmark they all shoot for now.
Yeah,
and they're not getting there,
which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
because they have to put $200 million into everything they do. Even the Accolade had $180 million. Where it's
we're done.
It's a money laundering scheme.
We're done discussing the Accolade unless somebody brings it up.
I'm bringing it up.
That was a bad movie. Bad TV series. Sorry. So
everything.
Our main topic for this week is top 10 movies about the apocalypse. What's that?
So I can't wait for a Disney Star Wars show. Well, I'm even going to have that is going to be that's going to be a 19-parter. I'm going to come in here with this like massive binder, and by the end of it, I just may be
quitting.
I'm done.
So, anyways, our top 10 movie, our movie topic this week is top 10 movies about the apocalypse.
Post-apocalyptic movies.
Post-apocalyptic movies. Sorry. So I'll have you go ahead and start with your honorable mentions.
So, all right, my first honorable mention was Stakeland. Came out in 2010. Vampires have taken over the world. I can't remember if they were like they used to be humans or like
they were.
Sick.
It was a
like I know that it's
pandemic of vampirism. It was called.
Yeah. Well. So anyway, vampires have basically taken over the world, and a young orphan in the American heartland is taken under the wing of a veteran vampire hunter. God, I hate filming on Wednesdays. Veteran vampire hunter on his quest to find a safe place to live. Stars Nick D'Amici and Connor Paolo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Paolo.
I can't really read.
Good movie.
There was a time when me and a guy at work used to intentionally look for movies that had nobody in it that, we knew. Seemingly low budget movies, but were still pretty highly rated. That's how we found this movie, Stakeland. It was really good.
The only name in that movie that anybody really knows would be Kelly McGillis, and she was in Top Gun. She was the nun in that movie. Yeah.
Top Gun?
No, in Top Gun, she was one of the instructors.
Oh,
the one that he had the hots for.
In the first one?
Yeah.
She was in it?
Yeah.
I don't remember her.
Yeah. And then in Stakeland, she was the nun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's the only name. If you look at the list of names, the only name people might hop out of there is Kelly McGillis.
Yeah, she drove that ridiculous looking Porsche.
Yeah.
God, that car's ugly. I saw one in Vermont.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad for the guy driving it. I think he thought that he was cool.
Look at me in my Porsche.
So what's your number
All right,
three?
my second honorable mention is Oblivion. Came out in 2013. And the story about this movie is in 2017, there's a war between an alien race and humanity, which leaves the Earth uninhabitable and the moon destroyed. Now, 60 years later, following humanity's victory, Jack and Victoria are the only 2 people stationed on Earth overseeing massive hydrothermal platforms that convert the oceans into energy for humanity's colony on the moon of Titan. Stars Tom Cruise, Morgan Freeman, and Olga Kurylenko.
Yeah.
Isn't she the chick from Quantum of Solace? She was like the Bond
I
girl in that?
believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a good movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wrong to be on your top, 10, 12 movies, but that's okay.
You're going to say something about my list? You have movies on your list I've never even heard of.
Because that means you
Movies on your list I've never even heard of.
That's good though, because I watch all types of movies.
Yeah, and you're old. But this movie it's a Tom Cruise movie. They're fun. Tom Cruise makes fun movies. Yeah. And Morgan Freeman's in it. I didn't even know that he was in it.
Very little.
He was kind of in it like the second half on.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty good sci-fi movie. It was better than I was expecting. And it took me, I think I watched it last year. It took me like 10 years to finally watch it. And I was glad that I did. It was a solid movie. I enjoyed it.
No, it's a good movie. So my first honorable mention will be Train to Busan from 2016. It's a South Korean movie. It's about the zombie apocalypse, and it pretty much takes place on a train. But the action scenes in it, the family relationship scenes are great, and the zombies are the problem, but it also shows how bad humans can be.
Yeah.
You know, actually, the humans are worse than the zombies when you come right down to it.
The Walking Dead showed us
Yeah,
that.
the first few seasons, yeah.
No, the first few seasons was all about the zombies. Then after that,
Right.
it was nothing but humans.
Yeah, and
which is where the show kind of lost its way.
Right. They made too much of it about the humans.
Yeah.
But the Train to Busan, 2016 South Korean movie. I would highly recommend. If you're into post-apocalyptic zombie movies,
I've never heard of it. That's one that I want to check out.
It's a very good movie. The acting is cool.
That's it.
The vampires. The zombies look great. It's more the zombies are more in the vein of like World War Z.
Sprint everywhere.
Yeah, and they're fast. They're not just and they.
Well,
run.
it's like the Dawn of the Dead too.
Yeah,
Zack Snyder's.
Those type of zombies. So this is a good movie. My second one, I wanted to put up higher, but I just can't because I think the movies above it are just better, is Dread from 2012. We've actually talked about Dread, I think, a couple times on this show.
It's a severely underrated movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's from 2012, starring Carl Urban, Olivia Thirlby, and Lena Headey?
I think it's Headley.
Or Headey or something like that.
It might be Headey too.
From
Game of Thrones.
It's violent, takes place in a futuristic city, and the judges they're police officers that are judge, jury, and executioner.
Now, do you mean the Sylvester Stallone classic from 1990?
Judge Dredd's not bad.
I like Judge Dredd.
It's campy.
It's campy as hell, and he's got those like 19-inch platform shoes on
to make him. Well, they have
that
to.
Are fantastic.
What's Sylvester Stallone? 5'2"?
Yeah, something like that.
But
he's like a comic accurate Wolverine.
Yeah, but Dredd, great movie.
Yeah, awesome movie.
And like I said, I think we've talked about it at least probably 2 times on different subjects. Great movie. Check it out. Carl Urban is perfect as a judge.
Yeah.
He's perfect because he's so monotone in the way and it's just one emotion.
Which is how Dredd's supposed to be played. Yeah. Like Dredd is just a badass.
Yeah. So
who just wants to kill you.
Yeah. And that's just it. He's judge, jury, and executioner. They tell you that numerous times.
But that's the world he lives in.
Yeah.
And he needs to be like that.
Yeah. So,
all right. So we're getting into the my top 10. My number 10, I started off with Escape from New York. 1981, set in a 1997 dystopian United States after war with China and the Soviet Union has decimated the country. Air Force One is hijacked by anti-government terrorists and crash lands on the island of Manhattan, which has been converted into the country's sole maximum security prison. Former Special Forces operative and current prisoner Snake Plissken, what a name, is given 24 hours to rescue the president and secure a pardon for himself. Stars Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken. The only other person that was in that movie that I kind of remember was Ernest Borgnine was in it?
Lee Van Cleef, Ernest
Who's that?
Borgnine.
Who's that?
Who's Lee Van Cleef?
Yeah, who's that?
Are you kidding me?
No.
He was big into the old westerns.
Old westerns.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. He was in that with Clint Eastwood.
Who was he in that?
He was the bad guy. That's
so he was the bad?
Yeah. Lee Van Cleef. Oh my God, dude! You don't know who
I know the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's a classic
whatever.
movie.
You just knocked yourself down a couple pegs and then Adrienne Barbeau, who everybody knew who Adrienne Barbeau was in the 70s and 80s because she was considered a sex symbol back in those days, and she's a good-looking lady.
Good movie.
Oh, excellent movie.
Very, very,
Escape from L.A. was nowhere near as good.
No.
But they are talking about doing another one with Kurt Russell.
Escape
back
from
as
L.A.
Snake
Is that the
Plissken.
one where he had to play the basketball? Yeah, that was a stupid scene.
Yeah, and then the surfing scene.
Like, I still liked it, but that was kind of stupid.
It's nowhere near as good as this one.
But yeah, the character Snake Plissken is a Kurt Russell classic.
Kurt Russell's a classic.
Kurt Russell is Classic. Yeah. That's probably the reason that this movie's on here is just because I freaking love Kurt Russell.
Oh, yeah.
I love the guy. Yeah. All right, my number 9 is another low-budget gem that I found while surfing the interwebs. This one's called Turbo Kid. Fun thing about this movie is it had a budget of like $60,000. But it came out in 2015, and the backdrop for this movie is it's set in the year 1997, years after a war with machines turned the world into a wasteland. The main character is simply called the Kid, rides around on a BMX bicycle scavenging, and one day he meets a young, free-spirited woman named Apple who desperately wants to just become his friend. It's kind of weird, but it's funny. After some time together, they become close, but she is captured by henchmen of Zeus, who's played by Michael Ironside, the only guy in the movie that you would actually recognize. He's an evil warlord, and the Kid sets off on an adventure to rescue her. It stars Monroe Chambers, Lawrence LeBeouf, probably saying that wrong, but she plays Apple, but her name's Lawrence. Didn't know that was a... And Michael Ironside. This movie has more personality. It's got no budget. It looks like the entire movie is shot in like a quarry in Canada. But it's got so much life.
You've told me about this and showed me the trailers. I have yet to watch it.
And you said you want to watch it.
Yeah, I want to, and I just keep forgetting about it.
It's super low budget, so
but that's not always a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing because this movie was a passion project from its director. Yeah. Like he made the movie that he wanted to make. The actors gave a shit. They actually turned in some pretty solid performances. The story is over the top and some of the stuff, and it's kind of weird, but it's fun. Yeah, it's a fun movie. And the reason it's on my list is because for like what they did with $60,000 just impressed the hell out of me. I enjoyed it. And it's a movie that I would happily own and put on my shelf. Yeah, I enjoyed it that much.
Yeah, like I said, you've showed me the trailers for a couple times, and I've been wanting to see it, and I just keep forgetting to watch it. But I definitely want to watch it.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
Yeah. That was your 2?
That was my 10 and 9.
So my number 10 was the same as yours. It's Escape from New York. I kind of adjusted this around today, thinking of some different things. Escape from New York is just a classic movie. And like you said, Kurt Russell
is the man.
It's Kurt Russell.
He's the man.
You can say what you want. I mean,
there are a few actors in Hollywood today that I would watch a movie just because they are in it. Kurt, Denzel, used to be Clint, but I mean, the guy's just getting too old.
One of my favorite new Christmas movies is with Kurt Russell.
Oh, there's Netflix Santa Claus movies?
The Christmas Chronicles.
Yeah, they're on Netflix, right?
Yeah. He is awesome.
I didn't watch the second one.
The second one's pretty good.
I figured the second one would be awful.
The first one.
The second one was pretty good. I'm sorry. The first one was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's,
take the prison scene where he does the singing. Kurt Russell just can act. He is just a good, solid actor. Mm-hmm. Just a good, solid actor. So, anyways, mine was again Escape from New York. We already talked about that. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what you're doing. Definitely a good movie.
Yeah,
Escape from Los Angeles. Yeah, but like I said, I think
43 years.
They're actually talking about doing another one with St. Pliskin coming back. Kurt Russell.
With Kurt Russell, St. Pliskin.
But then again, they could obviously use his son. Is it Wyatt?
I didn't know someone was into acting.
Yeah, he's in the new Godzilla film there series that was on Apple.
I don't have Apple.
Yeah. And then he was U.S. agent. He was U.S. agent
series?
in the Winter Soldier, not Winter Soldier, the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV series. He was U.S. agent. He's really good.
You act like I've seen that?
Well, you should. Because we're going to talk about all this stuff, so you got to watch this stuff. So
I watched.
But he's a good actor, and he looks so much like his father.
I mean, I'd be interested to see him.
So that was my number 10. My number 9 is The Book of Eli, which could be up a little higher, but I put it down at 9. Huh?
Should be up a little higher.
Well, that's in your world.
Yeah.
2010 takes place after a nuclear holocaust. Eli, who is the great actor himself, Denzel Washington, one of the best modern actors we have out there. He is just
one of the main reasons I went and saw the movie, and
he's just a great actor. He's wandering the wasteland, and there's Carnegie, who is a warlord looking for the book. The book. Everybody's looking for the book. You don't get to know what the book is until later on in the movie, and the book is the Bible.
The King James Bible.
Yeah. And the greatest twist in the whole movie is at the end when the Bible is in Braille. So nobody could read it.
Except Chuck Norris.
Eli
He can
memorized
actually speak
it.
Braille.
What's that?
Chuck Norris can speak Braille.
He can. But Eli, he memorized the Bible from prior, and there was only one female in the host that knew how to read Braille, but she would not tell them. Yeah. Great action scenes starring the late, great Ray Stevenson.
Gary Oldman is Carnegie.
Gary Oldman is another actor.
Who's awesome.
Jim
Gordon.
Yeah, he can play anything.
Yeah.
He's just a good. But yeah, so number 9 for me is the Book of Eli. I mean, it could go up higher. I just think
should be up higher.
Yeah, you probably have it up higher.
I do have it up higher
because that's you. But that's my 9 and 10.
We're gonna have it out.
Yeah, probably
As soon as this,
sooner or later.
As soon as this is over. My number 8, I went with Snowpiercer. Came out in 2013. This movie was about after an attempt to reverse global warming goes horribly wrong. The Earth is covered in a new ice age. What's left of humanity survives on a train called Snowpiercer that traverses the globe, where the wealthy live in the front cars and the poor in the rear under armed guards. Curtis is the main star of this movie, played by Chris Evans, leads a revolt where the rear passengers attempt to take over the train. Stars Chris Evans, Tilda Swinton, John Hurt, and Ed Harris. This is a movie that I put on mainly because Chris Evans was in it. I was bored, couldn't find anything else to watch, and I was like, damn, that was actually pretty good. I've only seen it the one time. I remember there was a few plot twists. I can't really remember what they were.
Now they have the TV series, don't they?
They do have a TV series. Could be good. Could be terrible.
I haven't watched it
Don't know.
yet.
I haven't watched. I haven't heard anything about it, so could be good. Could be bad. I don't know.
But yeah, it's not a bad show. One of the punishments is they put that guy's arm out. It is so cold out, it freezes pretty much like they break it off. It's like, what?
So you watched some of the show?
No, the movie. Remember the scene
Is
in the
that
movie?
in the movie?
Yeah, they put the one guy they caught, they put his arm outside, out the window,
yeah.
and it freezes solid, then they just smash it off.
I probably only saw it. I mean, I know I saw it one time. It was probably like 4 or 5 years ago, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Chris Evans.
Yeah. Chris Evans. I was like, it's a Captain America movie, kind of. I don't know. He's there holding an axe. Should probably have a shield, but whatever. My number 7, I know you're not as high on this movie as I am, but I think this is actually one of the 3 good Terminator movies, and I went with Terminator Salvation. Takes place in 2009, came out in 2009, takes place after Judgment Day. The Resistance discovers a signal that they believe can shut down the machines, allowing them an opportunity to destroy Skynet and end the war with the machines. Stars Christian Bale, Sam Worthington, the late, great Anton Yelchin, who the fact that he died so young and was just starting to come into his own was just tragic.
He was great in the Star Trek movies.
Yeah. He was really great in that one movie, Odd Thomas.
See, I never saw that.
Underrated movie. Yeah. Check it out.
Yeah.
It's really good. And Michael Ironside, who apparently likes being in post-apocalyptic movies.
He was the bad guy in it, too.
No.
Michael Ironside wasn't the bad guy?
No, he was he was like the general in the Resistance,
that's right.
Resistance HQ was a submarine. Yeah. And he was the guy who told him about that. Like in this timeline so far, Christian Bale doesn't lead the Resistance. He's like a base commander. And he finds out that Kyle Reese, played by Anton Yelchin, was captured by the machines. And during the final assault on the Skynet HQ, he wants to actually delay it to give himself a chance to get in there and rescue him because he knows of his importance. And
Michael Ironside is one of those guys that plays a lot of villains.
Yes, he was the bad guy in Major Payne.
Yeah, he does a lot of work as a villain. However, one of his best movies, think of insects fighting humans. Starship
Oh
Troopers.
God, yeah. And I
was
just
great
watched
in
that
that.
like a month or two ago.
I love that movie.
So great. But yeah, wait a minute, hold on. Was that my? Where am I?
You should be at 8 and 7.
Yep. So yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So my number 8 is The Postman from 1997, starring
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner and what's his name? Ryan Hurst. That was one of his first movies. Ryan Hurst from Remember the Titans, Sons of Anarchy. He was
Who
in
was
it.
he in that?
He was
Like,
one of the
he had
young.
to be like a kid.
He was one of the young kids that decided to be a postman. I don't know, it's a post-apocalyptic movie about a man wandering the desolate Oregon countryside after a nuclear fallout from a war. They never really told you who the sides were, but it's a fallout. He finds a United States postal worker's skeletal remains in a car. He dons the uniform and finds the bags of letters and decides to deliver those letters, even though they never really tell you how old it is, but it's old.
Well, he's doing it as a way to try and get
Yep.
entry into some settlements so that
to
he can
get food.
so that they'll like pay him. And,
And
he
then-
claims to be from the newly formed U.S. government.
Right. The restored United States of America is what it's technically called.
Yeah.
And as he's going, he's seeing it's actually giving hope to people. And then all these other younger people want to actually do it. So they actually start forming a new postal service. And it's just a good.
It was a good movie.
I think
know
it's
it got
underrated.
I know that it's considered a flop.
Yeah.
It's like same thing with him and his like Waterworld, massive flop.
That was bad.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't as good as Postman.
I didn't like Waterworld.
Listen, dry land is not a myth. I've seen it.
Yeah. But yeah,
he's
The
a fish
Postman
man.
from 1997.
He's a merman.
Yeah, Merman. I think is an underrated movie, and it's a good post-apocalyptic movie. And my number 7 is Dawn of the Dead from 2004.
That's one I kind of forgot about. But
Yeah, it's another zombie apocalypse type movie. They a group of survivors take shelter in a mall. However, then they end up getting forced out of the mall. They have to go through the streets, and in the end, they end up.
it's a remake.
It is.
It's a Zack Snyder remake.
Yeah,
The
this is one of
George A.
Zack Snyder's
Romero-
actually where I think he gave a shit. Because Zack Snyder, he's one of these guys. You either got
Yeah.
a really good movie
He definitely didn't give a shit for the Rebel Moons.
or an absolute shit show. Yeah, there's really not too many in betweens with Zack Snyder. It's either really good or it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, you got 300, really good.
Yeah,
You got Sucker Punch, sucks.
Sucker Punch is so bad.
It's so bad. I own it.
Yeah,
I bought it because I didn't see it in the theaters.
a lot
Saw
of
it
people
for sale. Oh, it's like, oh man, Zack Snyder came out with a new movie. This has got to be good. Then I watched it once, and
Yeah, you
I don't
get
even know if I
Zack
still
Snyder,
have it.
Man of Steel,
Great movie.
great movie. Zack Snyder, Rebel Moon,
Both of them.
so bad.
I almost shut off.
But I
What, 5
really,
minutes?
yeah, I really enjoy the Dawn of the Dead. So you're starring Ving Rhames, Jake Weber. There's just some great scenes where they're calling shots on the zombies from the roof.
Yeah, they have
The
to
Elvis, they say Elvis.
It's true. The zombie looks like Rosie O'Donnell
Yeah.
or Jay Leno or something.
It's just a fun zombie movie. It has some comedy to it. Then it has some pretty dark stuff with the pregnant lady.
Yeah.
It gets pretty, but it's a good
It's a
movie.
good movie. And again, in that movie, the zombies are just like in World War Z. They run at you.
Yeah, there's no slow movement on these guys. And my number 6, as you've already discussed it, is Stakeland from 2010. It is a pandemic called vampirism that takes over the human population. There's very few humans left. And this one guy, what's his name again? What's his
The
name?
hunter's name?
Yeah, what's his
Mister.
name?
In the movie, they just call him Mister.
Mister, yeah. And he's just out there to kill. He takes their teeth. To me, it's one of the best vampire movies out there. I love this movie. He's just vicious. The vampires in it don't mess around.
No.
When they bite your neck, there's none of just little perfect two little holes. They rip chunks out of you. Everything about it. You have people there. What was the end vampire? I can't remember his name, but he willingly gave himself to the vampire, so he was a thinker plus a vampire. So he was really powerful. They end up killing him in the barn.
I don't really remember.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen it. It's probably been
But
7-8 years since
yeah,
I've seen it.
but the Stakeland is a great.
There's actually sequels. Stakeland 2, that was pretty good too.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, and that's a low budget movie. Stakeland was not a very high budget movie,
No, I'd say under $1 million probably.
but I mean, just them traveling. It's just a good movie, and I love anything to do with vampires.
Did you see the trailer for Nosferatu?
Did I see what?
The trailer for Nosferatu?
The one that came out a while ago, or is there a new
No,
one?
it's coming out now.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
It's coming out the end, I think Christmas.
Yeah, it comes out Christmas Day.
So
A vampire movie coming out on Christmas Day.
yeah, that's got what's his name in it? William Dafoe.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe.
Looks like that could be good.
The original
There aren't that many really good vampire movies.
No.
Which is shocking.
Yeah, but I love them. So anytime one comes out, I will watch it.
As you should.
Yeah. So Postman, Donna Dead, Stakeland. So now it's back to you.
Hey, my number 5 is Road Warrior. 1981. I mean, this is one that everyone's seen. It's the sequel to the 1979 classic Mad Max. Sees Max helping a group of people escape an oil refining compound under siege from a ruthless gang and its leader, Lord Humongous. Stars Mel Gibson as Max Rockatansky.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really no one else in it that you would know.
Yeah. Rock. Yeah. You got a weird last name.
Rockatansky.
Yeah.
It's a great last name. What are you talking about? They just never say in the movies.
Right.
I think the first one doesn't like the chief of like the police force he's on call him Rockatansky.
I think so.
I think that's like
not-
the only time
yeah.
you ever hear
Yep. That was when Mel Gibson was young.
it. It was like one of his first roles.
Yeah.
That was another super low budget movie where I believe they didn't have money to afford like bad guys, so they just found like an actual biker gang and just was like, hey, listen, we'll like pick up your bar tab if you show up and ride around so we can film you doing stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay.
Because this came out right around the same time as he had Attack Force C, which is a World War II movie with the Australian Army in a Japanese island. Which if you haven't seen it, watch Attack Force C. It's a great movie. And then Gallipoli.
What?
Gallipoli takes place during World War I. Mel Gibson, young, about the trench warfare there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, watch it. It's a great movie.
Heard of it.
Yep.
Sounds good. All right, my number 4 is, you touched on it some, The Book of Eli. Came out in 2010. Set 30 years after nuclear war turned America into a wasteland, Eli travels across the country in possession of the last King James Bible. He wanders into a town run by a man named Carnegie, who wants the book for himself to use its message to spread his power and influence even further. Stars Denzel Washington, Gary Oldman, Mia Kunis, and Ray Stevenson.
The late, great.
Great Ray Stevenson. Yeah, I mean, you like touched on it. It's
just a good movie.
It's a really good movie. Like
good action.
Like the combat scenes, there aren't that many in the movie.
It's good.
The movie's not about the combat, but what's in there is excellent.
Yeah.
It's freaking awesome. I mean, it's Denzel. It's like Gary Oldman.
And the late, great Ray
Stevenson.
He was the best part of the Ahsoka series for Star Wars.
Yeah, well, I'd have to take your
They are recasting it, so they're going to ruin it.
They're going to do a second season?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
They're going to ruin his character because he was awesome.
I want them to greenlight 12 more seasons of Acolyte with a $1.2 billion budget.
Okay, we're done talking about the Acolyte.
No. No, Dave. You opened up the door. You brought up Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm going to talk about the Acolyte.
And your hate, the hate runs.
Yes.
The hate runs
Yes.
deep in you.
Yep.
You would definitely go into the dark side.
Fuck that show. All right, I guess it's your turn.
Okay. So my number 5, and when I mentioned this earlier, you were like, what? Never heard of it? What? Is Logan's Run from 1976.
Never heard of it.
Takes
no one's
place.
ever told me to even look at it.
It's based on a novel and actually a comic book run. It takes place in the year 2116. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where the outside is barren and the atmosphere is actually poisonous. However, the kick to this story is all humans are only allowed to live to 30 years old. At the age of 30, you have this thing on your hand that changes colors whenever you get to a certain age limit. When you get to 30 years old, your birthday, 30 years old, your hand will turn red and black on this little dial-like thing that's built in you. When that does that, you are to report to, what was it called? It was a ritual called the carousel. You willingly reported there to be executed, and you were executed by fire.
And they knew they were going to be executed?
And they all, however,
I mean, I'll check it out.
You have runners who are people that tried not, hey, I don't want to die. And you have the cops in that day and age are called Sandmen. Mm-hmm. And, Sandman is about time. That's why they call them the Sandmen. They will chase you down and execute you. However, one of the Sandmen decides, this is not good. I don't want to turn myself in to die. And he becomes a runner. And they actually make it to the outside where they find some old humans that have survived in this barren wasteland they keep getting told about, and they decide, no, more and more people are starting to be runners. It's a weird movie, but nobody's ever done that concept again.
Who's in it? Exactly.
The guy, the lead, I forgot to write that down. The lead guy from the movie The Warriors. The lead guy.
You don't mean James Remar, do you?
No. Remember the movies The Warrior?
Yeah.
The Warriors.
There's like
the 70s from the gangs in New York.
Yeah.
The lead guy from the Warriors, I can't remember his name, but he was the lead actor in that movie. It's a good movie.
I can't remember.
Check it out. It has not aged well with the special effects and stuff, but the story is really good. My number 4 is The Road Warrior. We've already discussed it.
I actually skipped my number 6. So I was supposed to do 6 and 5. So did you do your number 6?
Yeah, I did Stakeland.
Okay.
So we'll just.
So wait a minute. You just said 4. What's your 5?
Logan's Run.
Oh, okay. So it's my turn?
Yeah. So, anyways, was The Road Warrior from 1981. We've discussed it. It's just a good movie. Mad Max is a great movie. Yes. But I like The Road Warrior.
I'm pretty sure everybody liked Road Warrior better than Mad Max.
It's just so good.
Although I think I've seen Mad Max more.
It's actually pretty funny in some parts too. Not how they act and how they dress and stuff. It's like these guys walking around pretty much in S&M gear back in the desert and stuff. But it's a great movie. Again, that's my number 4. So why don't you go to your...
So I'm going to do my number 6 that I skipped over.
Then go to
Criminally.
3. So you're going to go 6
I'm going to do
3.
6 and then 3.
Okay.
And, sorry, filming on a Wednesday. This is what you get. You get Sleepy Dave. My number 6 was Equilibrium, 2002. The premise of this movie is post-World War III, humanity has outlawed emotion, and it's kept under control with a daily injection of a drug called Prosium. John Preston, played by Christian Bale, is a Grammaton cleric. They are elite fighters who lead the police force and carry out raids against the underground who seek to topple the what the hell kind of government? Totalitarianism?
Totalitarian.
Yeah, whatever.
Totalitarian.
There's way too many syllables in that for me right now. To topple that government and preserve human history and basically the underground. So they will go out into, God, what the hell do they call it? They called it the Nethers? Yeah.
I think it's the Nethers. I haven't seen that movie. I think I've seen it once. That was right after it came out.
Really?
So, yeah.
Watch it again.
Yeah, I got it.
Friggin' awesome. It's kind of cringy, some of the story stuff. But that movie was all about action. Like, that movie came out, and it was kind of trying to, I think, ride the coattails of The Matrix's success.
Yeah.
It was I kind of didn't even realize that this movie was in the movie theaters. I don't know how much it made, but I thought it was like a direct-to-video movie because I saw it at Walmart one day and just bought it just because it was, it looked like it was a cool action movie. Anyway, it stars Christian Bale, Emily Watson, Taye Diggs, and Agnes McFadden as father. Oh, it also does have Sean Bean, but he dies. It's fun. Like, the Grammaton clerics, they're just badasses. They do, what do they call it in the movie? The gun kata? It's basically like gun like kung fu.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I said it's been, what year did it come out?
2002.
Yeah, so it's probably been.
I probably haven't watched it in like 3-4 years. But, it's got like a young Christian Bale. Really, really fun movie.
Christian Bale's an excellent actor.
Yes, he is.
He has some American Psycho. He has some great stuff. What's the other one? The Mechanic?
Yeah.
Where he's
lost, down to like 14 pounds.
Yeah. He was scary looking in that movie.
And then he had like 6 months to get in shape because right after that he did Batman Begins.
Yeah. He gained.
So if you haven't seen it, go and like look up The Mechanic and like how Christian Bale turned himself into like a walking skeleton. And then 6 months after that, he started filming for Batman Begins, and he's jacked.
He got really sick making The Mechanic.
Yeah, I bet he did.
I mean, you can't do that to your body.
I think he said he like survived on a diet of like apples and cigarettes.
Yeah.
And like probably water.
Yeah.
But yeah, Equilibrium, really, really good movie. It's probably a movie that a lot of people never even heard of.
Yeah.
It kind of flew under the radar back then, but check it out. It's a very underrated movie. And my number 3, I normally don't do 2 movies from the same series, but they came out so far apart and they have a different actor playing the lead role. I went with Mad Max Fury Road. It's probably my favorite of the Mad Max series. It's the 4th film in the Mad Max saga, and it begins with Max being captured and taken to the Citadel, which is a wasteland fortress under the control of a warlord named Immortan Joe and his army of war boys. After a series of events, Max finds himself in a war rig driven by, Imperator Furiosa, as he attempts to flee from Immortan Joe with his 5 wives. Stars Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, Nicholas Hoult. And the fun fact is Immortan Joe was played by Hugh Keys Brine, I think I'm saying that right, who played Toe Cutter, who was the gang leader in the first Mad Max movie.
I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
Nope.
Yeah, Immortan Joe is played by the same guy who played the bad guy in the first Mad Max movie.
Did not know that. Did not know that. Look at that. Learn something new every day.
Yep, you're welcome.
Yep.
But yeah, this movie was really good. I remember Tom Hardy was kind of annoyed with what's his name, George Romero.
Yeah, Romero.
Because he's, I guess, like when they were out there filming it, they would have all these vehicles. They would have like 1 or 2 camera vans, and they would basically just say action and film it. And he thought it was just this like disheveled mess where nothing was going to make sense, and he didn't know how they were even going to put this stuff on the screen. And then he said he saw the final cut and was like, "Well, I was wrong."
Yeah. I would. That's my 3rd favorite of the series.
After 1 and 2.
Yeah, because Beyond the Thunderdome sucked.
Well, it's
and then Furiosa was. Furiosa.
I'd say Beyond Thunderdome is probably better than Furiosa, though.
Yeah, well, it's better than Furiosa, but I didn't like it. But it's better than Furiosa.
And Furiosa had potential. It could have been really good.
Yeah, like you said, with the 40-year, there's so many things they could have done, and yet they just like little snippets.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
I don't know how we got all screwed up here, but you already did your 3?
I did
you're just 6 and 3. So now I'm going to do my 3. So I must have done 3 in a row.
You did.
Okay. Why didn't you tell me to shut up?
I'm sorry.
So I will do my number 3, then you do your 2 and 1. So my number 3 is 12 Monkeys from 1995.
Kind of a weird movie.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Huh? I think it's great.
Oh. Do you know why I saw it?
What?
I said, do you know why I saw it?
No.
It's Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt.
Oh, yeah.
How did you not watch that?
He's a prisoner from 1995. As a prisoner, Bruce Willis sent back to, he lives in 2033, sent back to 1996 to find a cure, or
he goes back in time to find out what started the
virus that wiped out the human species.
Basically wiped out most of humanity. Yeah. He's not really going back there to save him. He's going back there to try and find out what happened to try and help.
Right, because there's they thought it was the army of 12 monkeys that set the virus loose. And then the whole ending with him seeing himself die. I
don't remember too much about it.
I love it.
I remember it was weird.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen it the one time.
Yeah, I think it's one of Bruce Willis's better movies. Is that the wind?
Sounds like a weed whacker.
You never know. It could be the ghost.
Do we have ghosts here?
I don't
Is that
know.
what stole my like sheet last time?
There's some strange noises we get in here every once in a while. But yeah, 12 Monkeys from 1995. Bruce Willis, Madeline Stowe, Brad Pitt, young Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Well, Fight Club.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt just about.
Yeah, great movie. I love the whole premise of going back in time to find out, to fix hopefully what happened, but it doesn't quite work out that way. So yeah, 12 Monkeys is my number 3.
Outstanding. All right, my number 2 is one of your honorable mentions, Dread. Came out in 2012. This movie is set in the year 2080. The United States is a wasteland called the Cursed Earth, following the atomic wars. Now what's left of humanity lives in overpopulated, crime-infested megacities. Judge Dredd patrols Mega City 1. He's paired with Judge Anderson, a recruit on her first day on patrol. Together they go to Peachtree's, a 200-story-high slum block, to investigate a triple homicide. This puts them at odds with Mama Madrigal, a drug lord who controls the block.
And what was the drug? Slow-mo.
Stars Carl Urban, Olivia Thirlby, and Lena Headey, something, from Game of Thrones. This movie is a movie that the trailers for this movie sucked. I know we've talked about this movie
justice
before.
for the movie.
I saw the trailers for this movie back in 2011 or 12 or whenever I saw them, and I was like, that movie looks like it's going to be stupid.
Yep.
Looked like it was going to be gimmicky with the whole slow-mo thing. And then I famously tell the tale. I was at Walmart. There was an end cap where they were selling they were selling Dread. There was one Blu-ray left. And I just thought to myself, was that actually a good movie? There's only one left. It had to be pretty decent.
So good.
Picked it up, went home, watched it, and was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's violent.
Yeah, like they get locked in this giant 200-story tall, skyscraper.
Yeah.
She puts it on lockdown so they can't get out. So the only way out is just go up there and kill her.
Yeah, and the reason they can put on in lockdown is because they have these big nuclear blast doors and windows that just shut. Once that building's locked down, there is no getting in or out. But Carl Urban
was awesome. Awesome.
He's perfect. He was perfect pick for that role.
I wish that they would do a sequel or some sort of series, but they never will.
Carl Urban has said he'd like to do it again.
Yeah, but
Carl Urban has got to be.
But that movie lost money.
Yeah.
But after it came out, it gained a lot of traction from word of mouth, and I think it got really, really great Blu-ray sales.
Oh yeah.
So,
that's one thing
they could easily do. Well, it would be a success if they made some sort of series and they honored the source material, like they did with this movie.
Well, that's the biggest problem.
That's
nowadays.
the biggest problem is that
they don't
want
honor source material anymore. You get these people that come in that absolutely know nothing about an IP and try to make it, and it sucks.
Yep.
Look at Star Wars. We'll go back to Star Wars.
And the Acolyte?
Indiana Jones. Look at the last one of Indiana Jones. That was not Indiana Jones. It wasn't Indiana Jones. You had him there.
I will consider the fourth one an Indiana Jones movie, even though it sucked, because that was still Spielberg and George Lucas. Yeah. But the fifth one? No. Horrible. All right, and my number 1 is, of course, a movie that needs no introduction. The Matrix. Looked up, shaking his head. Look, you just had the entirety of our audience, both of them, just absolutely. You just discredited yourself to them. The Matrix, 1999.
It's not the biggest fan of the
movie
Matrix
needs no introduction. It is the groundbreaking action classic that came out in 1999. Stars Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie-Anne Moss, Joe Pantoliano, I'm probably saying it wrong, don't care, and of course Hugo Weaving as one of the all-time great villains of the cinema.
I will give that.
As Agent Smith.
100%, I will give you that.
Well, the cinema world is all, like...
Agent Smith is just
the
awesome.
Premise of...
No, you see...
The premise of... Well, basically, we're about to start living it now when AI is going to rise up and kill us. Because, of course it will, because...
Why not?
We are run by idiots.
Everything else is being run,
we are run by idiots. But AI rises up, and there's a war between humanity and machines. And they cover some of it in the Animatrix.
Yeah.
But humanity ends up losing. In an act of desperation, they try and cut off their power source to the machines, which was solar power. That's why, the world there has black skies and like no sun gets through. So the machines, in some sort, yeah, that's definitely a weed whacker. So the machines, now needing a new source of energy, start breeding humans.
Yep.
And using them as basically batteries to power their civilization. And the humans don't even know about it because they're plugged into the Matrix, which is a giant computer simulation, which is basically the world from 1999.
Right.
And
they have no clue.
Some people reject this and they get cut loose and they end up joining this like human resistance that lives deep underground in Zion. I mean, I don't even know why I'm telling you this. Everybody's seen it. Everybody knows it. It's
a good movie.
It's one of the all-time greatest action movies. It's one of the all-time great sci-fi movies.
That was Keanu Reeves' big break.
Yeah, it was like he was known before that.
Yeah, but that was his. Off we go.
Yep.
And Hugo Weaving was just...
that probably was his big break, right? It had to be.
It could be.
Like, well,
I don't...
Like everything he did that I remember him from was after that. First he was Agent Smith, then he was Elron, then he was V.
Yeah, Elron.
Elron?
Yeah, great character, Elron.
Not in the Amazon show.
We're not talking about the Amazon show because we haven't watched it.
And do you want to talk about The Acolyte too?
We cannot give an honest review of The Rings of Power.
It's not The Lord of the Rings. Don't ever say it's The Lord of the Rings of Power, even though that's what
like I said. I couldn't make it through. I was like 2.5. I could not go any further.
I made it to the end of the second one.
I'm going to have to, though.
Probably like 5-10 minutes left, and I just shut it off.
We're going to have to. We're going to have to.
I'm going to hang myself.
We might want to be like in Logan's Run. After we do that, we just might want to go and get executed.
What if I watch it drunk?
So my number 2 is 28 Days Later, which takes place 4 weeks after a mysterious, incurable disease turns humans into rage-fueled zombies. And again, this is actually one of the first movies that actually shows zombies not being the slow-walking things. These zombies run.
When did that movie come out?
2002. Yeah. Starring Cillian Murphy.
Really?
Yeah. Young Cillian Murphy. A handful of survivors just trying to survive and find sanctuary, and everywhere they go, here are these zombies. It is, let's see, they had 28 days later, you had 28 weeks later, you had 28 months later. Now they're talking with Cillian Murphy to do 28 years later.
So spoiler, he survives the first one?
Yeah, he survives the first one.
Was he in the second one?
Yeah.
Really?
Very little. And
I
what's his
have to,
name? Do you ever watch the movie The Full Monty?
I think I've seen it once.
Okay, the main guy in the 28 weeks later was the guy from The Full Monty, which is a funny movie. You should watch that.
Isn't it like a British movie?
It's a British movie where the guys want to get up and pretty much these everyday Joes, overweight guys, not good looking guys want to make money, and they get up and try to do the Chippendales. Funny
Maybe I haven't
movie.
seen that.
It is hilarious. But anyways, yeah. So number 2 for me is 28 Days Later.
I kind of forgot about that.
Great movie.
I remember I liked them. I just haven't seen them in a while. And I think I've only seen the first 2.
Yeah. 28 months later was not all that good. 28 days and then 28 weeks were both pretty good movies. I mean, 28 days later was a great movie. 28 weeks later was really good.
Weeks later have like Idris Elba in it? Or am I thinking of something else? I'm probably thinking something else. Never mind.
I don't think so. So my number 1, because this is one of those movies that really got me into loving movies, and I was probably 10 years old when I first saw it. I didn't get to see it when it came out, but I saw it when I was probably 10. Is Planet of the Apes from 1968. So I saw it. It was a rerun, of course, but it was like, 10, 11 years old, so 78, 79. it takes place where the astronauts crash on a planet that looks a lot like Earth, that they think is run, and it comes to find out it's run by apes, and the humans are slaves. It is a post-apocalyptic type movie. This is, like I said, one of those movies that I first fell in love with, right along with like the Star Wars and the Jaws, those type movies. I mean, this starred Charlton Heston, Roddy McDowall, James Whitburn, and it spawned so many other great movies. And now it's spawning a whole new run of the movies, from Rise of the Apes to War of the Planet. It was
War of the Planet of the Apes never let me down.
It was my least favorite out of those three.
I thought it was going to be better. Like I thought it was going to be the best, and it turned out to be easily the worst of that trilogy. But,
well, now it's actually a four-piece.
Well, you could say it's still the Caesar trilogy.
Yeah, but this new one, Kingdom, kind of
it didn't even look. It
goes.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet.
It didn't look that good to me.
They say it's just as good as 1 and 2. 1 and 2 were great movies.
1 and 2 were great.
But
3 was not.
My number one is Planet of the Apes from 1968. I loved that movie. Yeah, did it age great with the makeup and all that stuff?
Nope.
No, but it's still great. It's better than that crap that Mark Wahlberg did in 2006?
No, God, I think that was like 99, 98.
Was it that late?
I'm pretty sure it was like late 90s, maybe like 2000.
Let's see.
That was the Tim Burton one.
Yeah.
You know what movie did age great though, Dave?
What one?
Do you want to know what movie did age great?
2001. Oh. Yeah.
The Matrix.
Yeah. I'm not saying I don't like The Matrix. I've never been the biggest fan of The Matrix.
Well,
so
that was watch the fourth one.
Yeah, that was
movie
our
put me to sleep, and I have no desire to ever go back and watch what I missed.
That was our top 10 post-apocalyptic movies. Hope you guys enjoyed that list. Please let us know if you.
I want to know in the comment section of both of you watching whose list was better.
Yeah,
because his didn't even have The Matrix in it.
Yeah, well,
and that is shameful.
Yeah, well, that's fortunately that's your list.
Well, your list as well.
So our next week's topic, our next episode topic, I should say, is the top 10 greatest
movie one-liners.
And there's...
Which we'll figure out what that means.
So many. I mean, I'm thinking... I already have stuff in my mind.
I have stuff in my mind, too.
And they are one-liners.
And I ain't going to tell you.
I'm not telling you because you'll steal them and put them on your list.
Maybe because they're already on my list.
Got anything else to say before God comes in here and shuts us down?
Do we really have to do an Amazon?
Eventually, we're going to do an Amazon.
Rings of Girl Power show.
Lord of the Rings. We can't call it Rings of Power 1 and 2. You still have to watch Star Wars.
What? I did watch Star Wars.
Not all the TV series.
That's all I'm going to watch.
So, anything else?
We could do one episode each on each of those.
Oh yeah, the crap
each of those seasons.
Yep.
No, I don't have anything else to say.
So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time. Have a good night.
Deuces.